Alright, GM. Played around a little bit with the settings, and hopefully the sound is gonna be good this time. So, as always, it's the weekend. I'm gonna do my batch analysis. I have quite a few trades this time. I think there's 13 trades in this week. Hope there's not gonna be too many mistakes, but even if there is, that's totally fine. So, as always, let's start off with what I wanted to focus on this week. It's actually exactly the same as last week. Copied it. I want to skip bad setups, of course. That's like the number one thing. I want to focus on taking just A-tier setups and nothing below that. I don't want to be trading below diagonal, of course, and I don't want to trade any choppy markets whatsoever. And regarding risk management, I want to see strength before I reduce risk, but also I don't want to reduce risk too early. It's a sweet balance. But I think there was nothing. I don't think there were any mistakes this week regarding risk management. And regarding the liquidations, I saw some nice trades that worked even without the liquidation. So I'm not quite sure if I'll continue having this rule. I still have it on here. I still pay attention to it. But maybe further down the line, I might remove this rule. We'll see. But anyway, let's go over this stuff. So let me jump to Notion and start off right here. So this should be a loss on US 100. Yep. All right. Let's go over it. So I think this is inverted. Yes, sir. Yes, it is. And here we have a very, very strong market. Some kind of accumulation happened down here, right? Then it broke out higher. I wasn't really looking at anything here, I believe. I only started looking after we broke out of this stuff. But this was very, very weak. Why after this stuff? Because I want to have a confirmed reaccumulation. So I want to have a confirmed double MB, so to say, to get my new direction to the upside, right? So I was waiting for that, and nothing impulsive really. And then all of a sudden, after this candle, that's when I started looking. You can see I have some trades here as well from probably last week. And then this goes really, really high. Stage 1 over here pulls back into the rising EMAs, and I'm going to be looking to take some trades over here if there is anything impulsive. So on the 6 minute, we can see a beautiful stage 1 over here, and then a breakout and a pullback into the prime area of the rising 1020 EMA. And when I go to the entry itself, what I'm really looking for is basically the buy button, right, which was over here. And I think this was very one-sided. I like this a lot. There's a lot of impulsivity here, a lot of inefficiency left behind. Looks like a very strong move. And then it starts reaccumulating. And as long as it's above the rising 1020 EMA on the 6 minute, I'm totally valid to take trades. And then all of a sudden we have this big impulse over here. I remember I set up a buy stop here, but it fell back down, so that invalidates it. And then we have another one over here. Very strong, big, chunky candle. MB1 over here, MB2 over here, very proportional. I liked it a lot, so I took this trade. And I believe that just tapped me in and pretty much instantly fucked me up. And yeah, this is where I actually got tapped out because of spread, right? Remember, it's a short. But overall, I really, really like this trade. I think it was good. There is an argument to be made, and this is actually one thing that I'm paying attention to the most in terms of future refinements, and that is when is a move actually overextended. So right now, what I'm using for this is simply a rule of MMBs. As long as we are not past MMB4, I can look for trades. But to me, it seems like that's a little bit too black and white, and we know trading is not really like that. So maybe if there is like a big move happening already, I should probably not chase the pump. And yeah, maybe that if I had a better rule, I would be able to say, okay, this is way too high right now. I would like to see this flush and do something and maybe then get involved over here. That could make some sense, but I don't have that yet. And it's not a big deal, so to say. I still trading like this, I'm still having really nice stats, but it's something that I'm paying attention to. And if you look at it, like getting 6R is just over here, and I really think this can totally happen, like having this one final pop before dying. So yeah, I think this was completely fine. So let's label this up. Um, Good momentum on the C, of course. This is stage 1 expansion on the V, and this is a very good. I would say it's a perfect DMB. Perfect DMB. Yep. I really like this trade. I will take it again anytime. So let's put that in the Notion. Good context, good momentum, good entry. Management wise, absolutely nothing to do. So perfect management as well. I would say this deserves a perfect. Good start, even though it's a -1. Okay, there's a lesson over here. Let's go over that. Good short areas. Uh, oh yeah, that's from the webinar. I remember I also shared something like this in Trade Talk very recently. It's when you have an ongoing nice push, nice momentum cycle that eventually like creates the distribution MB and fails. And then on the V, as this starts going sideways, that's kind of where you expect it to accumulate, right? Because every single time a momentum cycle fails underneath the EMAs, the expectation is that eventually price is going to find some demand and start going sideways, and the expectation is reaccumulation. So we expect it to break higher and continue. So if it starts going sideways and breaks down, that presents pretty good opportunities for shorts. And I think that's exactly what we can see over here. And yeah, these are the circled areas, so this is where it breaks down. And I would say this little area over here, once it starts going sideways and breaking down, that's where we can follow short. When a one-sided market breaks down, we can look to take the MMB short. Yeah. So that's just something to pay attention to a little bit more. Let's move on to the next trade. So it's another -1 on US 100. It's the same story, but here actually it already expanded out of here, and the way it did it is that yes, it broke out, but then it went a little bit deeper to. Whoa, 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 what the fuck? Where did I click now? Oh, here. Damn. Okay. And here it went a little bit deeper, and you can see it seeked liquidity one final time. That's like some kind of spring, and then it just absolutely catapulted higher. And I tried to follow that move, of course. Over here, I don't think there was anything to trade. Like, there's an argument to be made that maybe this whole thing was some kind of accumulation, and as it broke out, this was an MMB that could be traded. And if I'm not mistaken, that was over here. This was the flush, and maybe this was a decent entry, but I didn't see that. And yeah, here it just somebody pressed the buy button, right? That's pretty obvious. We can see that here on the 10-second as well, where my entry is. Very, very strong move. Eventually, it breaks below the EMAs, and here it goes higher. I remember I put a buy stop over here that did not get tapped in. Instead, it broke lower, and then it chopped around a little bit, and I was waiting. Okay, so maybe this is like the first leg and a pullback, so if I get a nice DMB over here, I should be able to take the trade. And here I was waiting for an impulsivity and a small pause. Big impulse over here, small pause over here, and that's where I took my trade. Looking at this, this is not the type of entry that I really like. It's very different from how I usually enter. I don't know. Like, I thought, okay, it broke above all of this, right? And it shouldn't look back. It's not exactly my type of setup. Let's just put it that way. I do not want to be taking these kind of setups, probably, in the future. Yeah, it's a weird one. It's definitely a weird one, and that by itself should already disqualify it. Anyway, what happens is I get tapped in, and maybe there's even an argument to be made that I could go break even over here, but that's not nearly enough strength for me to do that. Like, I like to get break even a little bit later. So, not the best trade. Not the best trade. Let's label it up. There was really good momentum over here. There was really good momentum on the 6 minute as well. Again, maybe there's an argument to be made that I'm chasing the pump here, but I don't think so. I think this was okay. This could easily continue. And on the 10-second, like, everything is good. The 10-second is just a little bit different than what I'm used to. So I'm just gonna say questionable. Questionable DMB. And I will leave it at that. So yeah. Good context, good momentum, questionable entry. Management-wise, nothing to do. And yeah, I mean, it was good. It wasn't perfect. Definitely not perfect, but it was good enough, I guess. Okay, moving on. What do we have here? So, same stuff as before, right? These are three trades on NAS 100. They all happened in the same day. So this was the initial pump that we talked about, and that now pulls back into the rising 1020. So my expectation here on a lower time frame, of course, is that there is going to be on the 1 minute some kind of momentum cycle here that's going to ultimately fail, and immediately my expectation is reaccumulation. That means that I'm going to be looking for my box over here and a breakout out of it. So let's see what happens. And yep, we have some kind of state 1 happening over here. All of this including the support resistance and whatnot. And then I was looking for some kind of strong move with a little pause, maybe a continuation. So this move, I mean, is it strong? Is it not? If I look at it on the 10-second, like, yeah, it's above the 1020, but like, it's, what the heck is this? What the hell is this? I don't know. I don't like it too much, honestly. I feel like I forced this one. I think I could have definitely skipped this. Like, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Is this a 1 minute entry, by the way? Yes, it is. It's a 1 minute entry, so this doesn't matter. That's good enough. Okay, so I think this pulled back a little too deep, probably. And this is just not as impulsive as I would want it to be. I have to say, I don't really like it too much. It's definitely not like bad, but it's not perfect. And ultimately, I want to be taking perfect trades, right? So, I mean, I understand what I did here, but the MBs are not proportional either. One thing that I have noticed, especially, I think on Wednesday, that's when I had a lot of trades, is that like usually when I have 1, 2 trades, it's okay. Sometimes three per day, it's fine as well. But the more trades I have in a day, the more the quality kind of drops. That's definitely something I need to work on. But this trade, if look, it's very simple. If I could decide, not knowing the not knowing the result, if I could decide, hey, do I want to take this trade right now, without any emotional bias, without any like pressure that I have very little time to set up the trade and blah blah blah. If I could right now decide, is this a trade I would have wanted to take? The answer would be no. So I'm ultimately going to treat it that way, uh, and I'm going to label this as a mistake because I do not want to be taking these kind of trades in the future. Simple as that. I forgot to do this, so this one was perfect. This one was good. And this one I'm going to label as a mistake. So, there is still good momentum here on the V, so following here was good. But this one, nah, this is just, nah. I'm just going to call this ugly DMB, and that's the mistake. Okay, let's label that up. Good context, good momentum. bad entry. Management-wise, I reduced risk over here. Yeah, so you can also see like how it started moving higher. Like it's really choppy, a lot of back and forth, right? It's just dragging itself. There's no impulsivity. There's nothing. But I wanted to give it some space, and then eventually, like once it broke this high, I reduced my risk. Luckily, the spread on NAS 100 is very small, so I suffered just a tiny little loss. Yeah, I mean it's a zero point 0.1 R loss or something. I just wrote it down as break even. So, yep, this was a break even, and it was a mistake. Okay, good enough. So, moving on, we got a UJ trade over here. Let's take a look. Is that a long or a short? It's a short. Cool. So, we got a big stage one over here. Boop, boop, boop. This is probably where I would draw my accumulation MB. This I was following like immediately as it was doing something. I was probably looking for some trades over here, but they didn't, like nothing came out of it. So I waited, and like once I got this swing point, I drew my horizontal and was waiting for a breakout, right? Here it breaks out, and eventually it creates a stage one. This stage one is a little bit weird, like it's a little bit loose, I would say. But one thing is for certain, it does look like it wants to expand out of it and continue higher. The EMAs are rising, everything is looking good. There's some chop, 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 and here it goes much, much higher above all of these points with good momentum. On the 1 minute, it looks like somebody pressed the buy button. I really like this. It pulls back into the rising 1020, so I'm very much valid to go to the 10-second and look for an entry. So let's take a look how this manifested. So this is MB1 over here, and then let's copy paste it. Then this is MB2. I think this looks very nice. Big impulsive candles, little bit of sideways, looks proportional. Yep, I really, really like this trade. This is a good trade. And this taps me in and instantly fucks me up. And that's okay. I would take this trade anytime again. So let's label it up. Like, if there's just one thing that I would not have liked too much, it's how loose this stage one was. It's a little bit weird. Like, you can see that it's not really fitting a box. But I still think it was alright. So, good momentum over here. Oh, yep. Good momentum over here. Stage 1 expansion over here. Yo, why is it so big? Alright, stage 1 expansion over here. Very good momentum on the 1 minute. And perfect DMB over here. So yeah, I really like this one. And I think that was pretty much perfect. Yeah, I think so. I will take this trade again. So I'm gonna label it that way. Wait a second, what? BEB, oh, okay, -1, there we are. So, good context. Good momentum, definitely. 1 minute, good momentum as well. 10-second, good entry. Management-wise, there was absolutely nothing to do, so that was perfect. The whole thing deserves a perfect. Nice. Okay, moving on. Euro USD win. Let's take a look. I have no idea what this is. I think I probably drew in like some kind of plans on the daily or whatnot. Don't pay attention to this. Anyway, we can see that there's some kind of long-term stage one over here. Then it eventually breaks out. I'm sure I looked for some trades over here, but after this big candle, like whatever this was, probably some news. Dartmouth entered the chat, right? I probably stopped watching, but yeah, then it breaks out here, stage one over here, and it continues higher. So very, very strong momentum. We can see that if we zoom into it on the 6 minute, this is the stage one, and we have MB1, MMB2, maybe 3, maybe 4. And even if this is 4, I think it's 3, to be honest. But even if it was 4, I'm still valid to take expansions out of it, right? So this is still very much valid. And looking at this, We have some sideways over here, lots of resistance, multiple touch points. So of course I'm going to be waiting for some impulsivity above this level, and that's exactly what we get. Get a big push above. And oh yeah, this is actually one of those trades that doesn't have a liquidity grab on any side, like any liquidation, but it does follow the rules really nicely. So here, I would probably draw in something like this, and I was basically looking for a big impulse that I can then buy stop after it does a little bit of a pullback. So looking at this, I probably, like, this is probably the touch of the 5 over here, so that's completely fine. And here, after I saw this big candle, I think even over here I already set up a buy stop, but then it pulled back too much below the EMAs again. But here it pushed really strongly. I set up the buy stop. It didn't drop back below the EMAs anymore, so this was a valid entry. And I get tapped in, and this pretty much instantly delivers. I remember I thought, I even double checked if this was some news or not, but apparently it wasn't. It was just insanely strong. So that was a pretty much instant, like within a minute, I got my +6. That was beautiful. So yeah, good trade there. Good momentum on the 1 hour. Definitely good momentum on the 6 minute. Not overextended just yet. Amazing momentum on the 1 minute. And regarding the DMB setup, if I just draw it in here, like this is MB1. And this whole thing should be MB2. It's not really proportional, is it? Like, yeah, it's not. But it does follow the general principles really well. And that's buy button, right? Buy button, short pause, continuation. Buy button, short pause, continuation. So as long as it follows that, like these, like the rule of proportional MBs is really, I would say, a training wheel. It's to get you used to certain setups, but then eventually, once you see what works, you can break this rule a little bit every now and then, I would say. So nothing is completely black and white. I'm just trying to follow how orders enter the market, not necessarily what pattern was printed, because that's not important. What matters is orders. And here I could see clearly some big buy orders dropping on the market. Or was it a short? I'm not exactly sure right now. 180, yeah, that was a long. So big buy orders dropping on the market, short little pause, and yeah, if it taps me in very impulsively, which it did, I'm super happy with it. So I would say this was a good DMB. Okay, let's label it up. Good. And 10-second. Yeah, it was a good entry. Overall, it wasn't really perfect, but it was really good. It was good enough. Management-wise, after this, yeah, just a little bit of strength. I reduced to the orange line, and yeah, I didn't even get to reduce completely. It just hit my target before that. But yeah, that was cool. Moving on, we got another US 100 trade over here. So what do we have? We have a big move over here that pulls back very deeply. Probably can draw a containment line over here, and then eventually big momentum out of here, and it pulls back into the rising 1020. I can already see there's going to be some accumulation sideways and a breakout. If we zoom into it, that's exactly what happens. We have this little sideways over here. I wasn't really looking for trades inside here as well because of all of this. I wanted this to break out and pull back, and that's exactly what it did. On the 1 minute, I could draw the stage 1 over here that I wanted to see a breakout out of. That happens, pulls back beautifully into the rising 1020, and here I take a look, and we got MB1 over here, and if I copy paste it, whoops, not like that, and MB2 over here. This one went a little bit deeper than I would want to, but it didn't spend much time there at all, and impulsively returned back. So I thought that's kind of okay. It's not perfect. Like ideally this would happen in a single candle, but you know, if I went to a different time frame, like a 8 second, or well, actually in this case it would be higher, maybe 12, 13 seconds. That's exactly what it would look like. But still, regarding the underlying principle of how orders enter the market, I think this looked very, very good. It was impulsive. It was nice. And yeah, it taps me in, chops around a little bit, and then goes higher, much, much higher, and I reduce risk. And I think I only take a small little loss. Yep, minus 0.2. So I'm very happy with this trade. So we got very good momentum over here on the 1 hour. We got a stage 1 expansion over here with good momentum. Good momentum. Same here. Stage 1 expansion with good momentum. And I would say a good DMB. It's not perfect, but it's definitely good enough. So, good context, good momentum, and 10-second is good entry. Overall, pretty good. I will take it again. That's all that matters. Management-wise, so I reduced risk on this strength over here, and then I was waiting for a new high, I think, to form. Yep, that was the high that formed, and if it broke that high, I would have reduced risk completely, but I didn't, and I took a small little loss. All good with that. Happy with the management. Okay, moving on. There's going to be a lot of Euro USD trades now, and there's a few of the trades that I didn't take. I talked about it in Trade Talk. Actually, before we get into that, I think I might just very quickly go over it because it's pretty important. So, I have a little bit of a reflection confession to make. I've been waiting for the right context to trade for quite a while, been very, very patient and not setting for anything less than my actual setups. And I did quite well in that regard, but then when the setups ultimately showed up today, for some reason I was very hesitant and didn't take a few trades I should have. Why? I set my expectation this year that if I manage to forward test profitably for 3 months, I'll consider myself ready and take it to the next level, a funding challenge. And when I looked at my stats and my curve, I like it very much, but I gave myself one final quest to crawl out of this current DD, which is over here. And it wasn't really much. And I think this is what ultimately fucked me up, because it created some kind of expectation. And to be honest, I got a bit scared, and because of that, also hesitant. Trading can be such a mindfuck sometimes. I know I'm capable of being profitable live, and I'm very confident in my skill. This is just a minor hiccup, and I'm glad I spotted it so quickly. So I'll continue with this quest. Just gotta get myself out of this DD. Then I asked, what about you guys? And I got some really nice answers that I also included here. Thank you for those. And I still ended up the day positive, but I think what I want to talk about here a little bit is these result-oriented expectations, right, or goals. For some reason, I created this expectation that I have to get out of this DD. That is not a good goal to have, ultimately. The only and best goal that a trader can have is to follow the process, is to follow the rules. And it has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with any arbitrary goal that we set in our minds. Claw out of this DD, reach this profit level, I don't know, whatever you want to talk about, get profitable within 1 year. All of these are ultimately going to creep up in one way or another and emotionally fuck you up. At least I believe that. The number one thing that we can do is simply follow our rules and refine our rules week by week or month by month, whatever. Ideally in some kind of batch analysis to avoid single trade fallacy. So yeah, that's just a very quick intro to these EU trades, because there's a couple of trades I didn't take which were totally good simply because I was too hesitant, and that's a bit unfortunate. Anyway, Anton comes in saying all you have to recognize is that this curve is divine, and if your next 30 trades go into drawdown, your curve is simply building the next move. So execute those trades as they come. not to get out of drawdown, but to continue adding to the data as per good trades. Basically follow rules. But yeah, divine. Thank you very much, Anton. That cheered me up, and yeah, you're 100% right. I'm gonna continue following my rules. Anyway, let's get into those EU trades. So here is a win that I unfortunately didn't take. So we got stage 1 expansion, probably some kind of MMB1, but given how extremely wild it is, I would call it accumulation MB2. Here it continues higher, creates some kind of stage 1 over here, just below this level, so I wasn't quite looking for trades here. I really wanted price to get out of here before I look for trades. And if we look at, if we zoom in a little bit, we will be able to see the stage 1 over here and the expansion out of it with the beautiful pullback into the rising 1020 EMA. And here, as that happens, we have our distribution MB, right? Breaks lower, creates an MB1 over here, and as price is down here, like ultimately all I want to see is a big chunky buy order to drop on the market that takes us to or above the 1020 EMA, and then buy stop it, right? Small little pause and buy stop. That's exactly what happens. Big move over here, small little stop that doesn't go below the 1020, just wicks it, which is completely fine, and yeah, then it immediately goes higher. So here it goes higher. This wouldn't be enough for me to move to break even just yet. I would probably wait for this high to get broken, and this pretty much instantly delivers. So it was a very, very nice trade. I just want to see how I reduced risk here. So yeah, you can see I reduced risk on this candle over here as this high was getting broken. So that was nice. Very patient, but again, it was a completely valid trade. I would say this was a perfect trade. I really, really like it. But for some reason, I didn't take it. Like somehow I talked myself out of it. And that's just silly. But hey, it's alright. It happens, you know. So, good momentum over here, definitely. And I would also call this a stage 1 expansion. Expansion. There we go. Exactly the same. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Control. Alright, exactly the same happening over here. And this was, I would say this was a perfect DMB, honestly. Yeah, it's not above the rising 1020, but it's very close. It's at or above, right? And once again, like even the EMAs, they are not black and white. It's more about the price action that is happening. It's more about how the orders are coming into the market. It's not about the pattern that it prints. And this price action wise is exactly what I want to see. It's the DMB or ICI, whatever you want to call it, right? The buy button, small pause, continuation, blah, blah, blah. It's all the same. Double demand validation. I really think it's just all about the impulsivity. It's about this move being very strong, right? Then having some kind of pause, and fractally the same shit. This move is this move. This move being very strong, some little sideways, and going higher. So yeah, I really like this one. Perfect. So yeah, that's a perfect. Oh, I forgot to label these things. My bad. Let me just go back real quick. So the +6, right? So there was a win here somewhere. Yep, win here. This one was good. Okay, then there was a -0.2. That was good as well. All right. And this one was perfect. Very cool. Okay, so let me label that up. Good context, good momentum, good momentum. Nope, it was a 1 minute entry, so actually it's just good entry over here. And management wise, it was perfect as well. Didn't take, but was perfect. Alright, moving on. Another EU trade, another win that I didn't take. Oh boy. Okay, let's take a look at this. So, it's exactly the same story as before. It's just that we expanded quite a bit further with very good momentum. This is where I took that trade. It went higher, pulled back a little bit below the 1020, so I wasn't looking for any trades over here. And then I wanted to get into something probably higher. But here, I think this is actually okay that I didn't take this trade because I really don't like this stage 2. I don't. It just it's not overwhelmingly one-sided. Like there's a lot of wicks which ultimately signal that there's a lot of sell orders coming into it. There is no like very clear movement. Yes, it's moving above the 1020, but it's just kind of dragging itself. And yes, it does pull back here into the rising 1020. And if this is the accumulation MB, then we have MMB1, MMB2, maybe MMB3, and this would be MMB4, so it would be technically still valid. But honestly, looking at this, I would not take this. Even though it ends up being a winner, I'm not going to try and talk myself into how can I change my system to accommodate this trade to take this winner, right? I think this trade was ultimately not too good. I don't like it. So, yep, ended up being a winner, but hey, I'm glad I didn't take it. On the other hand, this one was really good. This one, not too much. But yeah, on the 6 minute, oh, I think I know why I did it. Because even though on the 1 minute, yo, even though on the 1 minute you can see that like it's kind of dragging itself, I think I talked myself into it because on the 6 minute it looked a bit better, especially like leaving behind this demand zone over here. This chunky order over here, like this part looked okay, but all of the stuff before is just draggy nonsense. So don't like it too much. Uh, this was just weak stage 2. What else could I call it? Mm, bad momentum, I guess. Usually call it good momentum, so I'm gonna call it bad momentum. And by the way, what is this entry? Oh, is it a DMB on the 10-second? I see, I see. Yeah, okay. So it pulled back into the 1020, and over here, as it pulled back, I was looking for the buy button, a pullback, and a continuation. Which, yes, this looks pretty good. Uh, the sizes are quite a bit different, but again, doesn't matter too much. The entry itself was good. What wasn't good is all of this. The stage 2 preceding the entry. So, yeah. Uh, entry was okay. Good DMB, but weak stage 2. That's the biggest mistake. So, yeah. Gonna have to label that as a mistake. Boop. And let's label it up. Good context. Yeah, good momentum. 1 minute was ugly, choppy, blah blah blah. Yep, it was choppy. 10-second. 10-second looked okay, but was choppy, and it was, most importantly, it was weak, which I'm also going to include over here. Right. Oop, weak. Okay. And this is where I reduced risk. Makes a lot of sense. Then it started going back, and as it broke higher, I would have been completely risk-free. So yeah, management-wise, it was really nice. Okay. So, mistake. Do I have weak over here? Yes, I do. Cool. So, next, there's a BE on Euro USD. So, same story as before. Very good momentum over here. And we're just following, I guess. So, what do we have here? We have this whole cycle kind of play out. Then it pulls back. And let's see. So, I would say this was MB1, MMB2, MMB3. And yeah, this would be MMB4, so I was still definitely valid to trade here. It pulls deeper than it should, which means that I'm not really looking for DMBs in this area. First, I'm gonna look for my accumulation MB and a breakout, which we can see over here beautifully, actually. Like, this is absolutely picture perfect, some sideways in the area where we expect, then a breakout and a pullback into the rising 1020. Like this screenshot is beautiful. This is so nice. This is exactly the kind of price action that I want to be trading, right? We have a big momentum to the upside, then it pulls back a little bit deeper. That's why we don't immediately take DMBs over here. Like, I don't know, like we wouldn't take this DMB, right? Instead, we wait for the stage 1 to play out and break out again, and then as it pulls back, we can go to the 10-second and look for a trade. And here, what happened? Ooh, jeez. Okay, I do not like this one. I do not like this one. I gotta be honest, straight up. Ooh, that's not good. Yeah, I mean, this looks like this was MB1, and here, this would be MB2. This would be MB2. This was supposed to be my entry. Yeah, I was supposed to enter here, not up here. I don't know why I entered up here. This is horrible. This is MB3 already. So, god damn it. Yeah, this is MB3. I guess I talked myself into it that I saw all of this as one big push, but clearly it wasn't, because like if this was one big push, then it was okay. I would still enter up here. It doesn't matter that it's so high up. What matters is that it went higher and started chopping here and then continued, which clearly means that this is my MB2. This is clearly where I should have entered. There's even an argument to be made that there is an MB2 here and this is MB3 and this is MB4. But nah, I was okay like with this wick still being part of this. Like this was supposed to be my entry. So this is a mistake, definitely. But oh man, and this was also, if I had entered earlier, this would have delivered. Oh, that's just unfortunate, man. God damn it. Okay. Maybe I also missed it and I forced it here. I don't remember exactly. But yeah, this is MB3. That sucks. Oh well, we live, we learn. So here, very good momentum. Here, stage 1 expansion with good momentum. And here, if I had taken this one, it would be perfect. Like literally, this trade would have been perfect. But I unfortunately took an MB3. Otherwise perfect. Oh well. What can you do? So, good context, good momentum. 1 minute. By the way, this 1 minute is so beautiful. Absolutely amazing. Like, I really love this one. And 10-second, bad entry, MB3. Management wise, yep, reduced risk once it showed some serious strength. Like at this point, if it comes back, I don't want to be in that trade, right? Here, it started going back. I drew this. Oh, there's also a entry over here. And that's when I reduce risk. Yep, this was really nice, like management-wise also. So, mistake MB3. Yeah. Too bad. Okay, moving on, just 4 more trades to go over. Let's see. So, we continue with this move. Very good momentum. Very good momentum over here as well. Okay, and here we are. So, I have the previous entry here, which should have been here, but yeah, it's running, and I already reduced risk a lot. And I thought, hey, everything is going well. If it pulls back, I will be willing to layer in another trade. And here we have big, strong momentum that pulls back into the prime area of the rising 1020 EMA. So if I get a nice DMB on the 10-second, I will take it. Here we have it, right? We broke below the rising EMAs, cycle reset, blah, blah, blah. All I'm looking for is for a couple of big ass buy orders to drop on the market, small little pause, and then I'm willing to buy stop it. That's exactly what happens over here. Big strong push, pulls back, still above the 1020, and I buy stop it. I'm very happy with this trade. I think this trade is super, super good. It ends up being a -1, but that's alright. I don't mind that at all. Especially knowing that I have a running trade underneath that is already working. That gives me even more confidence that the next trade could work as well. So yeah, I like this. So good momentum. And over here, good momentum. And I would call this perfect DMB. What determines whether an MB is good, perfect, or whatnot is really just how strong the push is and the relation to the EMAs and how big or small the cells are. So yeah, this looked super, super nice. I like it a lot. So yeah, 60, good momentum, and good entry. So this was perfect. Management-wise, there was nothing really to do here. I wanted to see just a little bit more strength before I would reduce. Just a little bit. Like, if this went above this high, I would have already reduced risk. That didn't happen, though, and I'm okay with it. Okay. Next one, another trade that I didn't take. Oh, that's a UJ trade, though. This is a UJ trade. Okay. So, clearly, very good momentum over here. Like, we're in a delivering strong market. Here we have a stage 1 expansion, a very nice one with good momentum. So stage 1 expansion with good momentum, pulling back into the prime area of the rising 1020. And here, what happened here? Here I could have probably taken a trade. I think I could have taken this trade over here. I'm not sure why I didn't, because that would be MB1 and MB2. I think I definitely could have taken that. No clue why I didn't. Maybe I wasn't watching. But this was a very, very valid trade, which would probably... Would it end up being? No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't, because I would draw this line and I would like to see a breakout out of that, so I would reduce risk to here, and that didn't tap. So yeah, I didn't take that, but I guess I missed it, and it continued higher. And I thought, okay, if it pulls back into the rising 1020 over here, I can go to the 10-second and look for a DMB. And sure enough, we have a MB1 over here. Big strong buy orders drop on that, right? And MB2. Man, why can't I? Okay, MB2 over here. Honestly, it's okay. It's okay. It's not bad. I was a little bit creeped out with how it went lower, but as you can see, it didn't spend any time there whatsoever and pumped back out. I'm okay with those. Like, that's not a big deal. If anything, the MB1 was kind of ugly. Like, it wasn't the best. It wasn't too bad either. Like, what's important is that we saw the impulse coming into the market, right? That's what matters the most. The initial impulse, the reignition. But also, yeah, actually looking at this, like analyzing this stage 2 over here, this stage 2 is just ugly. It's so ugly. It just keeps dipping under the 20, just keeps returning. Lots of sells, lots of wicks. Yeah, I should not have traded this, for sure. Like, compare that to anything else. Like, compare it to this one, compare it to this one. Like, yeah, this is not nice. This stage 2 sucks. Blech. Alright. First of all, I should have traded this DMB. That's the number one thing. Don't know why I didn't. And besides that, it's a weak stage 2. It's a weak stage 2. This stage 2 over here was kind of nice. That's why this DMB would have been valid. But this stage 2 is not very nice. That's why I wasn't really supposed to look for entries over here. So that's definitely gonna be like a lesson for me this week to really pay more attention once again to this. and I'm already doing much, much better. Like in the past, I would have taken trades that would even like do stuff like this, and like just kind of rise along the 10, 20 and whatnot. I would have taken those. These I don't take at all anymore. So my rules have filtered out a lot of the nonsense. This is just like some final tuning, I would say. Okay, so this is still so much better than many, many trades that I used to take in the past. But looking at it, it can be even better. And it doesn't require too much. I just need to set my standards really high and not settle for less. And that's just something I'm going to do week over week. And I'm just going to get better at it as time goes. And I'm definitely going to eventually filter out these as well. So yeah, weak stage 2 over here as well. And I would say it was a questionable DMB as well. Yeah. And I also think this was all in one day. Like starting from here, getting a little bit tilted that I missed 2 plus 6s. Then I take a break even, I take a -1. And this one, oh, I actually didn't take this one. So it's whatever. But yeah, I definitely can feel that as I trade longer throughout the day, the quality of trades drop a little bit. So knowing that, I can definitely pay attention to it and address it. Anyway, let's go over it and label it. Missed this because I was writing the newsletter. Oh, okay, okay. Okay, this is where I would have reduced risk. Yep, like, even though it just wicked, like, at this point, if it comes back, I don't want to be in the trade. And after it broke higher above that wick, that's where I reduced risk completely. That makes sense. So yeah, good context over here. Very nice on the 6 minute. I like that a lot. The 1 minute, I wouldn't call this good. This was ugly, and it was very weak. And the 10 second was questionable and weak with perfect management. So overall, I would label this as a mistake. Okay. What about the previous -1? That was perfect. Okay. So mistake over here, and this one was perfect. Cool. So moving on, another EU trade. This time a break even. So let's take a look. Well, we know the story already. Very strong momentum over here. And over here, I think we already counted it once. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is still within this bigger range, right? So anything in here, I'm valid for continuations higher. So here, I think I saw this stage 1 over here, and a breakout out of it with a pullback into the rising 1020. And here we have a very nice and strong stage 2 that breaks down, and this was the DMB. Honestly, it's not good because of this wick. Yeah, I don't like this wick at all. If this wick was not there and it was just these 3 big bullish candles, then I think that was cool. But like ultimately, the initial impulse should be met with no resistance almost, like no sells, no nothing. But here, what really happened was that, okay, it went down, it pushed above over here, then it pulled back, and then it did like this. If anything, the entry should have been here, and even then, I don't think I really like it, because simply because this pushed price down so much. So I have to say I don't like this entry too much. And it ended up being quite nice. Like it delivered very high to like maybe 5.5R, so just barely missed my TP. But honestly, I don't want to be taking these kind of DMBs in the future. Like everything is nice. I guess that's why I kind of forced myself into this entry. But yeah, I hate this wick. Anyway, and like the momentum over here sucks as well. Like, I know this is a stage 1, right? But this barcode price action over here, like, honestly, I should have probably looked at this. Like, mm, it's tough, right? I mean, if I zoom into it, this stage 1 makes a lot of sense. But yeah, there's just small, tiny little things wrong with this trade that I don't really like. How do I even label this, man? Like, I guess when it comes to momentum, I'm just gonna have to take into consideration this stuff and say that it's good momentum. And then, like, we already expect a stage 1 to happen here somewhere. So stage 1 expansion. This stage 2 was really nice with good momentum, so that does make sense. There's good momentum on the 10-second, but the DMB entry itself is at least questionable. At least questionable. So I'm going to label this as a mistake as well. Okay. Good context, good momentum, but 10-second is a questionable entry. And what's wrong with it? I'm just gonna leave it at that. It's a questionable entry. Anyway, I reduced risk over here. This is ideal. This is how much strength I want to see. And then it didn't really pull back, but it just continued going higher and higher. And eventually, as it's high enough, I just don't see a reason why it should go lower. So I reduced risk completely. So that was perfect. But yeah, this was a mistake. Ugly DMB. Anything else wrong with it? Nah, just ugly DMB. Okay, and last trade was a BE on UJ. So let's take a look. Good momentum over here, very much. Here we had some stage 1 and expanding out. So this is MMB1, MMB2, probably MMB3. Pulls back into the rising 1020, goes a little bit below, but I don't mind that at all. This is completely fine. So if I can get a DMB over here, I'm going to take it. We got MB1 over here, and we got MB2 over here. I actually like this one because here, like, some cells on the top are expected. That's exactly what we want to see, right? The difference between the previous one was that this wick was in the middle of the move. That's why I didn't like it. But on top, that's expected. This is the little pause, right? So we have the big impulse. Here it has this little pause and the continuation. This I like very much. There's no problem with it whatsoever. And this goes a little bit in my direction and then eventually just doesn't have enough strength. So I very much like this. So I would say this is good momentum. Definitely a momentum cycle over here. And I would call this... Ooh, actually, this stage 2 is trash. And it was the last trade of the day. This goes hand in hand with what I said. Like, as I trade longer, the quality of my trades, my focus just kind of drops a little bit. And I don't pay enough attention to things. But this is trash. This is horrible. Jeez, man. Ugh. Weak stage 2. But besides that, the DMB itself is nice. The DMB is nice. But the preceding stage 2 is horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. And I think it's also visible on the 6 minutes over here. Like, there is no, like, clear impulsivity. It's all, whatever move happens, like for example here, right? Impulsivity, it comes back. Whatever happens here, impulsivity, it comes all the way back. Like, no, this was bad. This was bad. So, mistake. Okay, label that up. 6 minutes, was it actually good momentum? No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It's questionable, and I would say it's choppy. 1 minute, questionable, choppy, weak. 10-second, nothing. I reduced risk That's a bit late. I mean, I definitely reduced risk earlier. I think probably on this candle. It's just that it was the end of the day after so many trades. I wasn't even diligent enough anymore. So yeah, management was good. Nothing wrong with management here. But yeah, this was a mistake as well. God damn, man, a lot of mistakes. And this is the lesson we already read. Okay, cool. So let's take a look. How many mistakes this time? Like, I'm being very, very strict with myself when it comes to mistakes. So it might look like I'm making a lot of mistakes all the time. Even though last week I only made one mistake, for example, but this time I made quite a few more. But I'm okay with it, you know, this is why I forward test. And even if I make these mistakes, I can still have positive numbers. So it's not a big deal. I don't hate myself for making mistakes. One, two, three, four, five, six. Six mistakes out of, I think, 13 trades. That's a lot. That's a lot. Like, some of them are tiny little mistakes, but some of them are bigger. So, yeah. Let's go over this and we'll be done very soon. So, now what I like to do is I like to go over all of the C's, V's, and E's and see if I like these things or not. So here I traded in very good momentum, and overall this C, I like it. There's nothing wrong with it. Very similar to this one, just moves higher, higher, higher. Like last week or this week's EU was a beautiful example of how strongly a market can deliver and why we should follow when there is momentum in the market. EU had a lot of momentum, and I wasn't hesitating. Well, I was hesitating, but for a different reason. But when it comes to the strongness of the move or the power, whatever you want to call it, the momentum, I wasn't thinking of overextension. I have my rules here, and I was just following because money is clearly coming into the market, and I want to be part of it. So yeah, big momentum, big momentum, big momentum, big momentum, big momentum. Here, stage one expansion, big momentum, again, big momentum, stage one expansion, big momentum. Yeah, you can see it's all the same. On EU, on UJ, on NAS 100, all just big momentum. V is very similar. Like, I either want to see big momentum or the beginning of big momentum, which always comes from a breakout of a stage one. So here, stage one breakout pulls back into the 1020, right? This is exactly where this is like the first valid trade, I would say. Because you have a stage one, you don't touch anything, then it breaks out, it pulls back into the prime area of the rising 1020, and that's where I look for a trade. So I very much like this one. This is already past the breakout on big momentum once again, so I like that. Big momentum with a pullback, but quite a deep pullback, but still okay, I would say. This makes sense. This one, stage one expansion on big momentum, makes sense. This is already a trending market with big momentum above 1020, right? Momentum cycle. Stage one expansion. This already pulled back over here, so as it expanded higher, I was okay trading it. Just a little bit additional patience, not trading anything in here, so that was nice. Stage one expansion, pull back into rising 1020. This is already a trending market. Pull back into the 1020, broke below a little bit, so I let it accumulate and continue. That's when I traded. Shouldn't have, this was a mistake, but whatever. Trending market already, big momentum. I like this a lot. Same here. Stage 1 expansion, pull back into rising 1020. I like that. Trending market, yes. Trending market, yeah. Those V's were generally very good. So now the 1 minute. 1 minute can either be an entry or a V. So I'm gonna comment on both. So here, absolute dog shit. Stage 2, very bad. Should not have traded this. Stage 1 into expansion and pull back into rising 1020. This was good. Over here, big momentum, pullback. Yep, this is what I should have traded. But given if this was a V, because ultimately this was a V for me for this trade, even though it should have been an E, but whatever. This is not too good. This stage 2 is just not good enough. So not good. Here stage 1 expansion, pullback, and expansion again. So it's already a trending market, pullback into the 1020. This is perfect. Stage 1 expansion, pullback into rising 1020. Perfect. Trending market already, but yeah, I think I did not like this one because this stage 2 is trash, right? Yep, that was a mistake. So nope, did not like that. This one was an entry, so yeah, this entry is perfect. Big, strong stage 2, pullback below the EMAs, impulsive ICI over here. I like it a lot. Trending market already. Here it went to stage 1, expanded out of it, pull back into the rising 1020. I like that a lot. Stage 1 expansion, pull back into rising 1020. Like that a lot. Here, yeah, what is this? Probably accumulation over here. MMB1, MMB2, 3. Yep, that would still be valid. So it's a trending market with a pullback into the 1020. It's okay, but there's an argument to be made that this entire stage 2 was a bit trash. I mean, sorry, stage 1 is a bit trash. Maybe I could have skipped it, but it's okay. This one, this is a E. Yeah, I don't like this one because the DMB was just ugly. Very, very ugly DMB. Don't know why I traded that. What was I thinking? Here, this is another V. Big impulse into the pullback to the rising 1020. That's very good. And this entry was beautiful. This was perfect. Big, strong stage 2. Pulls back and eventually has a nice ICI, DMB, whatever you want to call it. And now here, let's see, there were a couple more entries. I think this entry was not my type of entry at all. Like, I don't like this one. Don't want to take these trades anymore. Not this, not this. This one was very nice. Strong stage 2, pullback, impulsive ICI. I like it a lot. This one, strong stage 2, nice ICI. I like this a lot as well. This one, this one, this one is okay. It's not perfect, but it's okay. Definitely good. You can see that it's not as clean as the others, but I still like it. This one, yeah. This one is not the nicest. Also, what the fuck is this? Very, like, it's so close to the EMAs. Like, there's no impulsivity. There's like no acceleration away from it. It's just generally kind of weak. I don't know. Yeah, I don't like this stage 2 over here. And the DMB itself is not perfect either. It's just good. Just like, meh. Yeah, I label it as a mistake. That's good. So here, this was MB3. That was bad. This was a very nice entry though. Should have taken that one. Here, MB1 is a bit ugly. The stage 2 here is ugly as well. So nah, this was bad. This was very bad. This one, I didn't like simply because of this wick. Because within this impulse, there was a big pullback already. So there was an argument to be made to trade this one. But nah, I didn't like it. Very questionable. And that's it. That's all. Okay. Now, what went well? I was very happy with my contexts. I was mostly happy with my V as well. But I think most of my mistakes were what went bad. What went bad this time was mostly weak stage 2s. Trading after weak stage 2s. I think that was by far the worst. So that's something I need to pay attention to. Took an MB3 entry. That wasn't good either. What else was there that I didn't like? Weak stage 2, mistake. A few questionable DMBs. Yep, I remember there were a few questionable DMBs, but yeah, weak stage 2 is pretty much the name of the mistake game this time. What was the mistake here? Yeah, just ugly DMB. Yeah. So pretty much everything, all the mistakes happened on my E, I would say. There was one V that was not too good, but that could have been seen on the E already, so that would disqualify it. So next week I'm really gonna pay a lot of attention to my E's. All mistakes on E. Alright. Very happy with management, definitely happy with V momentum, yes. This is the worst. Okay, let's go for the results overall. So, how many losses? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 losses. How many BEs? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 BEs. How many wins? I think I only had one actual win. One, yeah, just one. The other one I unfortunately didn't take. And how many spread losses? I think 1 or 2, right? 1. Okay, 1 spread loss. So, -4, +6, minus 0.2. This is 4, 8, 9, 10. 10 trades overall. Is that correct? 10 trades? Oh yeah, but there's 3 that I didn't take. Yep, so 10 trades. So 10 times 0.2. 10 times 0.2 for commissions is another -2 over here. So we're down 0.2 R. Yep. Where's the background? Highlight? Yes. Okay. And now results after filtering mistakes, or more to say, results if I traded correctly. So these things that I didn't take, I need to also include what I should have taken. So let's put this here and write should take, because I definitely should have taken this trade. So let's filter the mistakes. So first of all, losses. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I would still have 4 losses, just like before. Break evens. Wow. No break evens, because they were all mistakes. That's funny. 0 BE. Wins. I would have taken 2 wins. Man, that's going to be a big ass difference this time. 2 wins and 1 spread loss, I believe. The spread loss stays the same. Yeah. So that leads to 4, 6, 7 trades in total. Okay. And we go -4, +12, -0.2, minus 7 times 0.2, that's -1.4. That's 6.4. Plus 6.4 R. Okay. So the difference is quite steep this time. And it's literally because I missed one big win, which is a bit unfortunate. But overall, being down 0.2 R after commissions and everything, and having 13 trades, I'm very happy with that. Like, yeah, it didn't end up being the best week for me. I did make a couple of mistakes that I shouldn't have, But it was overall a very good experience, and I got to be in very good markets that had momentum on their side that could have delivered at any moment. And I believe if I just continue doing the things that I do, I will ultimately catch a lot of winners, and my equity curve should continue doing what it's doing. So, yeah, overall, not the best week. Lots of mistakes, unfortunately, but I don't mind. I wrote down exactly what there is, what I need to focus on. Uh, and yeah, let me just quickly write this for week 15. There we go. Week 15. And here I'm just going to most importantly focus on don't trade week don't trade after weak stage twos. Boom. That's going to be my number one focus for next week. I'm also going to copy that over to my trading view right away. Okay, save. And yeah, that's it. So I know this is long, and but I hope you guys find it useful, because this is how long I take every single week, every single weekend to go over my trades. If there is something, I go into very, very deep detail. I try to be as honest with myself as I can be, because ultimately that is going to be leading to my profitability, right? I want to fix my mistakes. I want to refine my system until it's, well, not necessarily perfect, but just really, really good enough. Okay, that's it. Peace.